don't know how many of you saw a recent Harvard University study, but it actually showed that 51% of millennials no longer believe that capitalism is the best way to organize our economy. And the reason that I believe that that comes out is because while capitalism has been correlated with a great rise in prosperity globally, that prosperity has not always been inclusive. And conscious capitalism is a global movement that actually has a different vision based on 4 key tenets. The first is a higher purpose beyond making profits. So, as they say, you need red blood cells to live, but the purpose of life should be more than to make red blood cells. Similarly, companies need profits to survive, but the purpose of that company should be more than just to accumulate profits. Secondly, they have a stakeholder orientation. So rather than prioritizing the needs of the stockholders and chasing after the quarterly numbers, they want to balance the needs of the customers, the community, the employees, the environment, this whole really ecosystem that surrounds and supports that company. They also have conscious leadership. So rather than being command and control, these leaders are empowering, they're servant leaders, they're really trying to build up the 4th tenet, which is the conscious culture of the organization that's focused on the well-being of all the employees and really their fulfillment and growth. And the good news is that not only is this a better way of doing business for the world, but these companies actually end up being far more successful on the bottom line. So ironically, by not just focusing on profits, they actually end up making a lot more money. And as I mentioned, this is a global movement. There was a book called Firms of Endearment that did that original study and showed that over the course of 10 years, they actually beat the S&P 500 by about 10 or 15 times. But we actually started a local chapter called Conscious Capitalism Rochester because there's Wegmans. We had a great example that made the national list, but we also saw that there were so many great companies around town that we really wanted to build up that local community and encourage more business leaders in town to evolve their companies in a more conscious direction. So we meet actually every month, whether it's at a social entrepreneurship initiative or a local conscious business that has a really great culture. And we also have, coming up on May 22nd, we have what we're calling the Inclusive Prosperity Summit, which is our 2nd annual conference. The morning is going to be really focused on inclusive entrepreneurship, how we can build a more inclusive entrepreneurial ecosystem in Rochester. And the afternoon is going to be focused more on building those conscious cultures in the larger organizations around town. So I'd really encourage you to check out consciouscapitalismrock.org. If you have a great example of a social entrepreneur or a conscious business that you think we should come tour at an upcoming meeting, let me know that too, and I'll look forward to chatting with you all after this.